It certainly is. Hang this in the Louvre. What a brilliant picture that is.
What's he got round his neck?
I don't know.
Some sort of bling.
Some sort of bling. For more on this, let's welcome in, shall we? Naden Manua joins us and Frank Leboeuf. Naden, why weren't you on the bus topless? You've been with them all the time.
Don't be ridiculous. I did not want to get wet. I was in a restaurant by the side, but it was amazing scenes. I think the fact that it was absolutely lashing down with rain just made it more memorable for all those fans that went and the players. And yeah, it's amazing. Still kind of in shock that actually happened over the last few days. But as you can see, everyone from that Blue Persuasion is very much enjoying themselves. And it's not just Jack that was very drunk. I can say it was all of them, all the coaching staff. It was everyone involved, the physios, you know what I mean? Even like the kit man there, Brandon. They had a very, very good time. And ultimately, I don't blame them. What an achievement. And, you know, you celebrate the end of a season in general, but to celebrate with having 3 trophies and that big one there, I think there's plenty of reason to be blind drunk for 3 days straight, I'd say.
Naden, it sounds like maybe you enjoyed the party as well.
Yeah, you could say that. I think from when the game was finished on the Saturday, it's just rolled in. The last 3 days they've been a bit busy. I'm very, very tired. Trying to be someone who celebrates these things, but then also has a family. I'll be honest, I'm not match fit for this. I'm struggling big time, but rightly so. You know what I mean? It's been an amazing week, and yeah, I'm sure the party's still going on for some.
To be fair, you're doing a great job at trying to do this show with your eyes closed.
I'm so sorry, honestly. I'm sorry.
I tell you what, Kevin De Bruyne has gone up in my estimation.
What? Because
he looks absolutely steaming.
Look at this.
But I tell you what,
Shaka's power rankings of the best celebrations.
One thing I've many I like about all these players, but particularly Jack Grealish, having had such a having had such a pressurised first season where it was a bit of a struggle. Much better this year, excellent season, not a great final, but excellent season, was when we've listened to him in interviews. There's none of this PR gobbledygook, I need to say this, I need to say that, I need to watch my words. He just comes out and he speaks to people generally, not all the time, but generally from the heart. And I think what we're saying there is he almost feels, it seems to me, that he almost feels lucky that he's got that move from his boyhood club at Aston Villa, which he loved playing for, to playing with these superstars, working for this superstar manager and winning the elite level competition. It just feels to me that, and I'm sure it's for all the players, but he just can't believe he's found himself in this situation, and he just appreciates it. And I think that's great to see.
It really is great to see, isn't it, Naden?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I agree there that, you know, when you listen to him in his interviews, he's very, very open, he's very, very honest. And the way he describes it is how, like, lots of people who sort of watch the games and have watched the games for years would feel if they were in the same situation. I think that sort of level where, you know, they make so much money, they've got so much success, but we are all connected in that sort of way. He talks about how much it meant to him to win that Champions League, to win his first Premier League, to get the chance to play in Champions League finals. And yeah, this is, listen, it's very much release for these guys. I don't know if it's going to be sinking how significant this season has been for them, but I really like him. Obviously, some people will say the scenes in terms of him being drunk for as long as he has, it's not great, it's not this, it's not that. But what I can say is from the inside, everyone that was there didn't have an issue with it. They really like him, and I think there's something about him which is very, very personable. And as a consequence, you know, he can be expressed the way he is and just know that he's genuine, as Craig was saying.
Did you give Kevin De Bruyne his winner's medal back, Naden?
No, it's in my house, actually. I earned that, you know what I mean? Having to come on this show throughout the season, listen to you guys criticise them, I've earned that medal. Happy days.
Yeah.
But yeah,
look at your selfies here.
Yeah, you know.
There it is.
Again, there it is. I was so confused. Like, he walked over. I said, oh, come on, let's take a picture. And then he gave me the medal. I was like, well, what do you want me to do with this? And the only thing more embarrassing than that was after you see that picture with Rodri, he came over to me and he said, how you doing, legend? I was like, you've just scored the winner in the Champions League final. And you want to call me a legend just because I scored that goal in 2010 against Chelsea. You know what I mean? Like, how could you forget that? But yeah, it was truly amazing. It's fantastic to be there. Fantastic to be there as a guest of Man City. And yeah, and to see them do it, it's so surreal because the club's come on so much over the last, 10, 15 years and so on. But yeah, it's been an amazing few days, and I'm gonna drink it in for as long as possible.
Let's talk celebrations, because like all the chat we've had, I don't think I've ever heard you talk about the parade in Glasgow. Was there one?
What parade?
When you won the cup, when you won the league.
I can't remember.
You must remember if there was a parade or not.
No, there wasn't. I tell you why. I think...
Would the police let you have a parade?
Look at that. It's been wiped from the annals of Celtic Football Club. I think the boys went to Portugal the next morning to play in a pre-done match, I believe.
Oh, okay. So you never.
I didn't go.
Right.
Because my second one was due to be born on the day that we actually won it.
Oh,
so
really?
My wife was at Celtic Park, ready to give birth, basically. So I didn't go on the trip for that reason.
Okay. I thought you would have gone.
Would the police?
I tried. Listen, you'll be okay.
You've had one. You know what to do.
You've had one. Anything happens.
You know he
Yeah,
tried.
no.
You know he tried.
No. So yeah, I didn't. Actually, that was a bit gutting because I know they went out to Portugal. I think they might have played Sporting Lisbon or somebody. It was something the club had organised, and they went over there and had a great time.
Right.
And not to say that I should put this in words. I did have a great time because I was looking after.
Yeah, a different way.
Yeah.
So I didn't get
exactly. Yeah,
I didn't get to those celebrations.
And what was your best parade, Stevie? Because you had a few. Is there one that sticks out, or do they all kind of merge into one?
They kind of do.
Yeah. Who was the Jack Grealish of the Liverpool side?
Oh, we had a few Jack Grealishes.
Including yourself, I imagine.
Yeah, including
Yes.
myself,
Yeah.
No, there was no shortage of Jack Grealishes.
No, I bet there wasn't.
It would probably be 85, 86 because there was double the amount of people there. There was probably about 700,000 people.
Wow.
Because the Everton fans were there as well.
Right.
Because I think I've told you previously, some donut in the council decided that regardless of what happened at the end of the season,
That's quite a smart leather jacket, Stevie.
And I do believe you've still got that jacket.
Yeah.
I don't think it would quite fit.
But they decided that both teams would go around the city at the same time.
Right, okay.
And whoever won the cup, the boss would go first. So you had not just Liverpool fans, but all the Evertonians were out in force.
And there was no trouble?
Well, there's not, because they're all intertwined. They're all family members.
Wow.
They're not a bit of bother, but I tell you what, it must have been great fun in the Everton boss.
Yeah, I know.
Watching us about 40 yards ahead, giving it all that.
Yeah.
Don't ask him.
We both trophies.
I got to ask him.
No, don't ask him.
I've got to ask Frank.
Listen, don't massage his ego.
No,
anymore.
I got to ask him. Was there a bus parade for the French, Frank?
That was, the World Cup final, the day after, that was crazy. There was 1.5 million people on the Champs-Élysées.
Wow.
And we were supposed to go from where you see it to go at the top of the Arc de Triomphe. And we couldn't. We moved halfway to George V's Avenue. We turned left because people were exhausted. The cops around the coach were exhausted, so we had to turn left after 2 hours. But it was unbelievable to see people crying, laughing, jumping. That was absolutely. But I want to add. The year when I was with Craig and we won the FA Cup, Chelsea didn't win anything for 25 years. And we had on Fulham Road, that people, if people know Fulham Road, it's a very small road. And from Stamford Bridge to the City Hall of Fulham, it was like half a mile. And we had 100,000 people there. That was crazy as well. That was fantastic to see the Chelsea fans, celebrating with us.
Away from celebrations, Nadim, I've got to ask you about Pep Guardiola, of course. Suggestions are that he won't renew his contract when it ends at 2025. Do you believe that?
Do you know what? I think I do. I think as you look back at his managerial career, I think he spent half of it at Man City now. And initially I thought he'd maybe be here for 3 years, 4 years and so on, but he's been there for so long. You see the club's formed a part of his identity, but, he's probably got the goals that he wants to achieve himself, or maybe just have a break. Because, it's a very high-pressure role that he's been in for these 7 years so far. So I think if he does sort of run down that contract for the next 2 years, I'm sure he'll try and make those, an incredible 2 years. But he deserves the right to sort of have that in his own hands, I believe. He's been monumental in terms of the success and just the way that sort of English football's changed quite a bit, given the fact that he's got brought in a different perspective on it. Because lest we forget, when he first came to the country, the talk was that he wouldn't be able to do what he'd done previously in other countries in England, and lo and behold, he's managed to do it. So I think he'll probably will leave at that point, and it'll be a great shame. But then I think he'll leave with a huge legacy. But yeah, I think it's just an interesting time for Man City now, because as well as, say, him potentially leaving in 2 years, some of the players are linked again with leaving. Does this mean that there's a transition come for Man City after they reach the summit?
Probably. I mean, he did it before at Bayern Munich. He took a sabbatical. He probably needs a rest. And you've got a manager managing Real Madrid and Brazil.
Maybe get Ancelotti could do City as well.
Maybe, yeah. Right,
That's all three.
You get him.
Early kick-off, fly to Spain.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe he's done, maybe he sees his club career, you know, Barca, Bayern, City, all that success. Maybe he sees a time out and then I'm not retiring, but the Spanish national team,
sure,
you know, is the next step of the involvement, because what else is there to achieve in the club game? So it could be something, and I agree. I would not be shocked, and I think that is the big question for Man City. Everybody thinks that Man City is going to just continue on this role, and you know, for the foreseeable future, for sure, it's possible. But when he leaves, and then you know the De Bruynes of the world, and we don't know what's happening with Gundogan. It's not just as simple as patching it all back together again.
Yeah.
You know, when we talk about, City are going to roll away with the league now for another 5 years, you know, a lot of this is bound together by what this manager does. You know, I know there's those people out there that say, they just spend money, which is pretty ignorant. So when this guy leaves, the next appointment and the recruitment of the players coming in off the back of these other players, I mean, they did replace people like David Silva, they did replace people like Vincent Kompany. That was good recruitment, but that has to continue. And if it doesn't continue, other teams will overtake them.
And we've seen like what happened to the red side of Manchester.
Exactly.
When their coach left.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, if you think it's about the money, then there's your great example. And I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be shocked, because this guy's tightly wound. I mean, how he doesn't